Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWADAH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom to my YAHAWAH and His, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Now, today's lesson comes from, well, the inspiration comes from, I guess, sicknesses, as well as a precept that I just, recently got refreshed about, if you will. All right, so basically, let's go into that actual precept, which is James chapter 5 verse 14. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with the oil in the name of the Lord. Verse 15. And the prayer of the faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he hath committed sins, they shall be forgotten him. Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. All right, so basically, over here we have that when someone is sick, the one of the main things to remember is, well, actually, first let me get a precept so I can further prove this. Okay, John chapter 9, obviously this is not literal, well, I mean, potentially could be, whatever. And continuing on, John chapter 9, verse, from the top. And as Yahawashi passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth, and his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that was born blind? So basically, whenever someone is ailed by literally anything, basically sickness, an injury, an ailment, whatever, all right, which same thing, whatever, any type of affliction, it is from YAHAWAH, all right. And as a matter of fact, let's also get this precept. In Proverbs chapter 3 verse 11, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. All right, so when someone is being chastised, all right, then this is, it's like when someone is sick or facing some sort of affliction, that is the chastisement of YAHAWAH. All right, so as a result of that, yes, this is where we come to the understanding that any type of affliction that we go through, it is chastisement from the Lord. Now, the thing is, with that said and established, all right, there is also the matter of people taking too much after Esau, Edom, in the sense of wanting things quickly, not wanting to think about the long-term effects of certain things. Because the thing is, one thing that I always hated, was how people like to basically take drugs for temporary enjoyment, and they don't care about the long-term effects of it. So that's why I don't know about the full things anymore, because I forgot it. But from what we know, there is like smokers and stuff like that who smoke to enjoy themselves or get a high or whatever. And then you hear all these different, like, what's it called, commercials and stuff like that, saying, oh, this person was a smoker, so they have their throat fucked up or ruptured or something like that. I don't know, whatever. And there is this, and while people today, there's a massive decrease in people smoking cigarettes and stuff like that. Now lots of people in this current generation, they instead opt to smoke marijuana, which I'm guessing is a different type of stuff, where it kind of seems like, well, I'm not going to say it seems, I'll just say with absolution, that, you know, this is the whole alternative that they have, where they just want, okay, well, I want to get high, I want to do this, that, and the third, whatever, I want to enjoy myself, rather than, you know, trying to seek after some sort of enjoyment. And then, you know, it's just this whole matter of like putting themselves in, you know, sometimes potentially compromising situations, where you have people who smoke irresponsibly, they drive while they're high, they do a whole bunch of stuff. And again, I'm not an expert on, you know, marijuana and all that stuff, but I do know some the base knowledge of what everyone always says, where, you know, people they hallucinate or some type of stuff, and you're not supposed to be smoking anything while you're driving or anything like that, and stuff, and the such, to the point where it's similar to, I guess, alcohol consumption. So as a result of that, this is where we are at in this whole dilemma of people constantly seeking any different avenue of temporary enjoyment, all right, because it is the way of Esau Edom. So let me also get this, 2 Ezra chapter 14 verse 17, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. And this is very apparent today, where honestly, in all honesty, you know, comparatively, if you compare people 20, 50, 100 years back, you know, people were a lot mentally and physically stronger compared to then. And I'm not saying this to, you know, say, oh, there's a correlation of marijuana usage and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in the sense of there is a correlation of the time frame that we're in the people, and in the growing permission of people being okay to be, or allowing themselves to be weak and vulnerable, even in public. And when I say weak and vulnerable in this, I mean it in both ways, either be it mentally, physically, or through intoxication. All right. So now continuing on. So yeah, basically, yeah, I really want to stay on this, but for this, going back to James, in this whole matter of sicknesses, people, one thing that me personally, as speaking as a man, as an individual, obviously there are going to be some instances where, you know, medicine is needed, but me personally, I always viewed, if I always viewed medicine, or Esau's medicine more specifically, as wicked, simply because the thing is that if you are like sick with, let's say, a common cold or something like that, where it's not like life threatening, again, this is just me personally, other people might have a different perspective on this, but for me, when I see someone who with a common cold, I just feel like, or even when I'll just use myself for example, whenever I was sick, I would never like try to take medicine for said sicknesses. I would always just pretend like I was fine and then just go through it. Maybe I would blow my nose more oftenly than not, and, you know, I would just accept that, because, you know, this is, as I had already established previously with earlier verses, there are times when the Lord, you know, sends judgment, and wouldn't it not be better for us to be receiving judgment in smaller judgments in the form of these simpler sicknesses, such as a cold, or a minor sore throat, or maybe a temporary headache and whatnot, where you just have to deal with that, rather than your arm gets chopped off, you're killed, you lose some major stuff or whatever in your lives. And that's that's the thing where so many people have gotten so used to just wanting pleasure rather than the actual hardships in life, to even acknowledge that, you know what, right now I am in the wrong, I'm doing something wrong, so let me take a step back, let me actually examine, why am I even sick to begin with? And as a result, well, one of the reasons you could be sick is because you're not, washing your hands, you're not being proper, you're not having proper hygiene and stuff like that. But outside of that, often other times, it is usually judgment from Yahawadah and His. So as a result of that, we should just accept, okay, yes, I'm taking this small sickness, it's not life threatening, okay, I'm just gonna push through it, and then be it a day or two or whatever, if it even gets to that, if you're not okay or cured within it. And also in addition to that, there's also the matter of letting your body handle any sicknesses by itself without using medicine. Further builds your immune system, and this is scientifically proven. But yet you have Esau Edom, who creates all these different medicines, even though he teaches that in the school system that you just staying sick and letting your body fight it by itself is already good enough. It's a proper way for you to handle stuff. And then with that knowledge, people don't care. They just want to be better immediately, and they go in, oh yeah, let me just go get any over-the-counter thing and handle it. And as a result of that, this is why you have so many people who are freaking addicted to over-the-counter medication. They always have medication, they always need medication, they always run to said medication for any and all inconveniences, and as a result of that, in addition to that, you also have people not establishing Sabbaths, quote unquote, for their bodies, that's also another thing where if you are constantly, it's an okay thing if you are constantly not being sick, sure, but at the same time, there are instances where your body sometimes tells you, hey, you need to stop, you need to take a rest, you need to stop doing X, Y, and Z. So this is the body, basically telling you to do that. And if you are trying to just ignore that and go against what the warnings your body is telling you, just like with a car, when the check engine light is on, if you have a car's check engine light and you just ignore it, say, okay, whatever, I still need to drive, you keep on driving, and you never fix the actual problem, then the car's just going to break down on the road, on the street, and then you're just going to be in an even worse position compared to if you had just listened to the warnings and taken the break when the warning was there, when the warning first appeared, rather than waiting for things to get out of control. And that's the same thing that goes for your body. Your body is telling you the check engine light is on, so you need to take a break, take a break to rest, not freaking taking medicine, say, okay, well, I'm gonna keep on doing this, senator, X, Y, and Z. All right, so this is a major thing, and the thing about this is that this is how society has made people to believe, where people want everything fast. You even have one of the biggest, most successful brands out being freaking McDonald's, where they are still in business, even though people say, oh, McDonald's is bad for you, McDonald's is this and the third, whatever, but people still go to McDonald's because it's just fast, convenient, and it tastes good enough. All right, so people are going to these types of fast approaches to life in anything. They also like fast delivery to groceries, fast cooking. There's some like HelloFresh, whatever stuff where they say, oh, here's a quick ingredient to quick and easy thing. Everything is prepared for you to just make it, and you don't need to take a long time cooking normally. All right, so as a result of that, this is where we have this wicked society, and these people that don't have a sense of rest, which I'll admit I also don't have a sense of rest at times, Slakia, at times. But at the same time, that's where I attempt to rectify that situation, because I always feel like I need to do that. So I attempt to I attempt to rectify that situation. Anyway, continuing on. But yeah, so Slakia, one thing that I have heard was let me actually get, there was a study done that said if you are able, you need to try to be able to just sit down quietly for, I think it was like 15 minutes. Slakia, I have to be able to find the actual study. I'm not going to be able to Google it, but there was a study that said if you're able to sit down for like 10 to 15 minutes or whatever, just doing nothing, thinking nothing, your eyes closed and everything like that, then you're able to focus a lot better compared to other people. Because the thing is that in this society, people have been so used to everything being like this, that, and the third, next, what's the next thing, and instantaneously and quick, and always occupied with something where you never truly get a break. All right, which that also goes into Esau's philosophy in life as well, because the thing is with farming and stuff like that and whatnot, what Esau does is he constantly exhausts the resources of the world, never giving the land time to rest. Like that, and that was a big thing where the Lord established Sabbaths, not just for us, but also for anything and everything. Even animals, certain animals, they have hibernation periods where they stop working, they stop moving around and stuff like that. And this is how the Lord set things up to be. Whereas with Esau, just work literally every day, especially in this society where you quite literally have to work damn near every day to make a living, and that has ruined so many people's lives. All right, so as a result of that, yes, this is where we're at right now. But at the same time, also with that, it's not even just a matter of just making a living, but it's also a matter of people are so desperate to be rich that they don't care about, okay, well, this is messing with my life, or this is ruining my health, and they just want to be rich, Slakia. They just want to be rich, so they ignore all the different signs and warnings of, maybe this is not the best way to go about it. All right, because as a matter of fact, let me get that precept. I think it's First Peter. Oh, yeah, it was First Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. For a love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. All right, so it's the love of money, the constant desire to always want to have money. Now, it's not saying that money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil, where you make money your number one priority, which ruins your priorities and eventually ruins your life and not your life, but your relationships. All right, so 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. I should have got this earlier. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And this is again a part of how Esau has made this society where people are so reliant on things being so quick, which is why you have all these different things. Esau can make different laws to get in the way of people and stop certain things that he deems are a health violation and whatnot, just as he almost tried to make the jab mandatory. All right, but as a result of that foolishness, Slakia, that's another Slakia. I can't talk about that, Slakia. Anyway, as I was saying, that's the thing where he's able to make all these different laws, but he can't make it a law that everyone has to go to a gym. Everyone has to freaking work out or something, or everyone has to do this, that, and third. They can make all these different laws to fuck with people's lives or fuck with their health, but clearly his true intention is to kill and to destroy. All right, so he's never actually had as a matter of fact, let's get this precept, Ecclesiasticus chapter, Sirach chapter 10 verse 2. Verse 3. I want to start verse 3 first, because I'm gonna work backwards. Just for this instance, I've never done this before, but this is just a perfect instance for it. But verse 3: an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So over here, you have these unwise rulers that are destroying their people. Okay, they destroy the people with all their wicked decrees and beliefs, where they want the people to die and be unhealthy. Now also in verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And this is the thing. This is another thing where the people take after their ruler, and the people are so fixated on, oh yeah, I want that quick high, I want that quick thing, I don't ever want to be sick and whatnot. I don't want to, and it's like that's another thing which I was supposed to go back to here to read. Sirach chapter 2 verse 1 again: my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. So we have to be prepared and acknowledge and accept the hardships that the Lord sends us. Verse 2: set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. It says make not haste, meaning take your time, even in the trouble that you are in. All right, so it's just like, okay, yes, we got it, we're gonna be in some sort of trouble, as it is a mandatory thing when it comes to being a servant of YAHAWASHI. Verse 3: cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. The key words here are being patient, as people are too used to having things quick and easy for them, but but the Lord is telling us that it's going to be hard, and it's going to take a long time. So we have to practice patience. All right. Now, yeah. So basically, remember, as I said before, everyone likes Esau, and it likes following after Esau, and this is a big thing with this. John chapter 8 verse 44: ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your fathers you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And once again, this goes back into what we just read, how the people follow after their ruler, and their ruler being Esau, Edom, being the devil, being the wicked, which forward that as well, or further confirm that Slakia as well with Job chapter 9 verse 24: the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, covered the face of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? Which we all know that the one who is in charge is Esau, Edom. All right, so yeah, everyone thinks that Esau is the pinnacle of morality, even though he is quite literally the opposite, being the worst out of all nations, being a hypocrite, being because Saki, that's one thing where you have him freaking saying, oh, all these other countries, I forgot which country it was, but like Pakistan, I think it was, or whatever it was, whatever Middle Eastern country or African country or whatever that was had slaves. Because I remember a brother had done a lesson on it with these two girls that lived in America, but they were talking about how the America is hypocritical for the country that they're in. But whatever, that's another thing. That was another lesson. I don't remember what country it was, but basically they had slave labor, and they were calling out America for saying that, or Americans for saying that that those people are bad, when America is literally built off of slave labor, which I'm not justifying it, but I'm doing basically the same thing that they were saying, that those girls were saying, and how it is hypocritical for a country that is built off of slave labor never did anything to rectify or to correct the quote unquote mistake of slave labor, but yet they are virtue signaling and saying, oh, these people are so terrible for using slave labor. All right, like as if they did anything to right the wrongs that they did. They're still benefiting off of the slave labor, and they have freaking sex trafficking stuff going on, as well as still virtually slave labor and literal slave labor going on with the prison systems and the immigrants. The so-called Hispanics, they were, well, I don't know if they're still doing that, because as Trump was getting rid of a lot of them, but basically they were making them work for either dirt cheap or for free, basically. All right, and these freaking the so-called Hispanics had to, or the immigrants had to basically like either find another job or just take what little things that they're getting paid for, because they can't report it to any things and whatnot because they were illegal immigrants. Anyway, continuing on, but yes, I just wanted to point out that is literally slave labor today in America, and that was literally happening. All right, I just learned that, I think this year or last year, the end of last year or this year. All right, so continuing on, let's get so yeah, they were hypocrites. And then okay, Sirach chapter 9 verse 11, envy not the glory of the sinner, and for thou knowest not what shall be his end. All right, so people view Esau as, oh, he's always thriving in this, that, and third. We shouldn't be jealous of his success, simply because we, being in the position that we're in, we acknowledge that being in the truth, Slakia more specifically, we being in the truth, we know that the reward that YAHAWASHI has for us is going to be way better than anything that Esau has right now. Anything that they are rolling in or whatever, we have it better. And we also close it off with this, Jeremiah 10 verse 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Okay, the heathen are, when they see all these bad things, when they see this society crumbling, and they're going to say at the end of it all, I don't want things to end, I don't want things to be destroyed. When for us, if being in poverty, it's like, okay, well, I don't give a damn, like I never had anything to begin with. So which is oftentimes, which is ironically not the case. You would think that lots of Jakes that are poor would be excited to see things crumble, but there's so many Jakes that are okay with society constantly going. Like there are literal Jakes that think that America is gonna keep on living throughout so many more years to come, which is ironic, because if you ask your average Edomite, even the Edomites know that America is going to be destroyed. All right, these Jakes are extremely uneducated in more ways than one, not just academics, but also through, like, I guess general perception of their surroundings. Like they don't understand the things that are literally going on. They're constantly unaware of the social issues that's going on in their life, around them, in their neighborhood, and how Esau literally intends and plans to destroy them. All right, because Esau is prepping and planning, but not Jake. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahawashi Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Just quickly again to conclude, was to remind people, this is not just about getting things done, but it's also at the same time about Sabbath, which is why the Lord, in all His glory, made the Sabbath. The Sabbath is a good thing. It's not, okay, well, let me go do whatever I want, or let me go work every 7 days a week. But there's a singular day for specifically for resting, if not more. So with that, I pray this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, praise unto Yahawah, the elders and apostles, the great millstone, the Bible, and Shalom.